Okay, so it seems all of you did biology. Good. Right. So today we are starting 2027 A-level physics class. Okay. Uh, so today's session is I'm not going to start the syllabus. I mean the subject. So what we are going to do in this session, we'll be discussing about the physics and then contents. I mean the units, and then we will be discussing about the paper, how the paper will be, and the marking, the marks how given for the paper, and how do we plan for uh, how do we plan our class, how we have a plan class will be uh, works, and then how do you work for A. So these are the things that we will be uh, prioritizing today. Okay, so first, all of you have done orders. I wish all the best for your results. Um, I hope our results will be coming out by August or September. But it's not informed yet, but I guess probably like August, September. All right. So physics is a subject uh, that is, I can say, the most beautiful subject you can learn. Okay. Now, for example, if you take biology, okay, in biology you will be studying about DNA, cell, DNA structure, all these carbohydrates and proteins, genes, all of this stuff. But uh, all these uh, molecules, everything made of chemical compound and elements. Now, if I ask you a question, what is the fundamental unit of biology? You will say cell, or maybe you will say DNA, for example. But the foundation, the fundamental unit in biology, the foundation of biology is actually the chemistry, because all these carbohydrate, DNA, protein, all of these are made of chemical elements and compounds. Therefore, the foundation of biology is actually chemistry, right? If you want to become a molecular uh, biology, bio medicine or biotech, you want to excel that, along with biology, you should learn chemistry also. Then only you can excel in that. Okay. So, if you have any siblings or friends or anyone studying campus, or you may know, they will you have to excel chemistry also, because the foundation of biology is chemistry. Now in biology you have different parts, like you will also study botany and stuff. Anyway, so but if you take the fundamental level of biology, it's the cell and DNA structure. So those are made up of chemical elements and compounds. Therefore, the foundation of biology is chemistry. In chemistry, what you are learning now, you have in oral science, you done biology, chemistry, physics, right? In chemistry, you will be learning about uh, molecules, atoms, bondings, how ionic bond forms, covalent bond forms, and how they react and reactions, how to increase the reaction speed, and all of this chemistry. For example, polymer, carbohydrates, and compounds, and different compounds are there. All of this chemistry, the chemistry is actually the foundation, the fundamental unit of chemistry is atom and its electronic structure. Based on the electronic structure only, all the chemistries uh, behaving. Now, for example, sodium is making bond with chlorine as ionic bond, because in sodium outermost shell there is one extra electron. So rather holding that ළඟ තියාගෙන ඉරඩා යවන එක least. So therefore the sodium ionize the outermost electron, and if you take chlorine on the other hand, it deficient of one electron. So what chlorine does, it takes that uh, released electron from the sodium and fill that vacancy. so that then chlorine fills completes its outermost shell. Then now you see normally atom is neutral, electrically neutral, but if because equal number of protons and electrons, if 10 protons and 10 electrons, the atom is neutral, right? Now for example, if you take a neutral hydrogen atom, one proton and one uh, electron, so it is neutral, right? Or normally all the elements are neutral. Now, similarly, if you take the sodium, 11 protons in the nucleus and 11 electrons in the orbit. So it is, there is a equal number of protons and electrons. Yeah, excuse me. Come in. Yes. May I know your name? January. Okay. So now if you take a sodium atom, it has 11 protons and 11 electrons. So if it's ionized one electron, so it becomes positively charged ion. So now this released electron absorbed by chlorine to fill its vacancy. So it completes the outermost shell. So initially chlorine have 17 protons in the nucleus and 17 electrons in the orbit, but now it's take one more, so it becomes negatively charged ion. So this now chlorine is positively charged ion and the chlorine is negatively charged ions. So these positive and negative charge ions, they, we know, you may have studied in electric fields, positive charge and negative charge attract, right? The same charge repels and opposite charge attracts. So this now sodium becomes positively charged ion, chlorine becomes negatively charged ions. So they attract and makes a bond. We call it ionic bond. So likewise, you have covalent bond reaction. Everything happening in chemistry is based on its electronic structure. Right now, when you are coming for A level, some of you, most of you doing, I think, chemistry. During our time, the percentage, if you compare the chemistry and IT students, around 70 people, 80 people do chemistry and around 30, 25 people do IT. But nowadays it's totally changed. Now it's like more like 50-50 because nowadays the IT field is very booming up because with the AI, content computing and all. All right. So, likewise, if you take chemistry, the fundamental unit is the electronic structure and its uh, electronic configuration. Now, if I ask you a question, what is the foundation of chemistry? The foundation of chemistry is actually physics. Okay, because now, for example, if you take hydrogen atom, okay, it has now you will study in chemistry class. By the way, what are the subjects you are taking? Biology, physics, and chemistry. In your first or second unit, you will be learning about quantum numbers, about these elements, hydrogen, helium. Yeah. So they have specific quantum numbers, main quantum number, angular momentum, spin quantum, magnetic quantum number. So these are the fingerprints of elements. So these things actually came from physics. Okay. So foundation of biology is chemistry, foundation of chemistry is physics. Likewise, if you take any STEM field, science, technology, engineering field, the underlying principles will be always the physics. Physics is the subject that explains the laws of the universe. Okay. Now, for example, you can take even the computer science. Now you are looking, having this class through online because of the development of the computer science. In computer science, you will learn that how the information is carried by as the bits, binary digits, bits. Have you done IT for us? You did. Okay. So bits means binary digits. So the information is either one or zero, right? So how do we create such digits one or zero inside the computer? That is actually, if you have higher potential, it's one, state one, and low potential. The potential value is low, like it can be 0 or zero point 0.1. We say that it's a zero value. So likewise in a device, computer or mobile phone, we can construct the circuits. So these construction circuits and all you can learn in electronics, which is there in the our syllabus unit 9. Okay. So if you take any science technology field, the underlying principle will be always physics. Computer science, as I told you, underlying principles will be physics. Everything happening around you. But now you might be thinking, I want to eat um, cheeseburger now, right? So that is also actually because of the physics. The physics happening in your subconscious mind. It's quantum physical thing which is not there in our syllabus. Don't worry. So everything happening around us is actually physics, right? Now, for example, in your O level, you have studied this equation. F equals ma. Do you remember? At the oral exam, you were right. Like that? No. Right? So this is the equation that is most important in your O-level syllabus. Oh, nah, I can't say O-level syllabus because there you study about chemistry, biology all together. So anyway, if you consider as equation, still that is the most important equation in O-level syllabus. When it comes to A-level, still the same, because this equation has the capability to explain the motion of electrons inside the mobile device or computer. Two, it has a ability to explain the motion of gigantic galaxies. ඒ ඔක්කොම explain කරන්න අපිට මෙන්න මේ equation එක වැදගත් වෙනවා. It's very important equation. The force equals mass times acceleration, which is come from which law? This equation is derived from which law? Newton's? No, not that law. Second law. It's came from Newton's second law. So in mechanics, we will be studying about this. Okay, so this is the most important equation, because if you can explain the particle with this equation, if you know the acceleration and force, you can say after some time where will be, what will be the velocity, everything we can explain from this equation. Okay, where this came from Newton's second law. Shall we just recall Newton's second law? Let's think you have done your level, right? So now you are coming and sitting for the A-level physics class, means you may have confidence that you got A for science, isn't it? Students from online? Okay, just tell me what is first. Let's recall what is Newton's first law. Yes, very good. Until an unbalanced external force is applied, the object is at rest, remains at rest, and object in motion remains constant velocity. Okay, so that is Newton's first law. And Newton's second law, the force. Now you may study in your O level, the force is directly proportional to the acceleration is directly proportional to the force and inversely proportional to the mass. So that is actually this formula. You subject A and right, F over M. So if A is directly proportional to F and A is inversely proportional to M. That's how you study in your O levels, but that is actually a simplified version. That is not actually the Newton's word. Okay. So Newton's, you will study that in your A levels. We will see that. Okay. All right. So today's session, what we are going to do, came late. We are going to see the syllabus. Okay, and how our class will work, and how do you supposed to work to get a secure A for A level exam, and also the paper structure and how the marks are given. Okay, so those are things that we are going to more interested in today. And next week we will be starting the class from 9 a.m. onwards. Okay, so next week the class will be there from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Okay, and yeah, so without further ado, I will start. So first, let me explain you the content. Okay, so this part you can write down the contents or the contents of our syllabus. How many units are there? Can you read? Can you? Nah. Anyone from online? Can how many units are there? there are more students joined, not the attendance and not the name of. See, 14. Okay. Now you may wonder why I'm asking this question. How many units are there? If you have target for A, මම දැන් අහන්න කලින් ඔයා ඒ research එක කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. You should have already done the research. How many units are in there in AL physics? What are the units? How will be the paper structure? From where I can get the study materials? All of these things now itself you have already done. AL physics එකක් ගන්නවා කියන්නේ it's not easy. Okay? It's really hard. Okay? But හරියට වැඩ කරා නම් ගන්න පුළුවන්. So ඒකට දැන් ඉඳන්ම you have to prepare yourself. Okay? And Mama Handa Kalin, you should know there are these 11 units are there, these are the units, this how from there the practicals are there, practical list. ඒ ඔක්කොම research කරලා තියෙන්න ඕනේ. හරිද? You can reach one of your seniors from your school who have done A-level science, or you can reach a teacher. Somehow you can't give an excuse. මට ගෙදර කවුරුත් නැහැ මම තනියම තමයි. ඒ excuse මොකුත් no excuse you should give. Okay? You have to start working now. හරිද? දැන් ඉඳන්ම මොරාල් එක වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ කියන්නේ you have to target for island rank, then only you will end up with A. If you target for A, you will get B or C. Island rank එක ගන්න විදියට target කරලා වැඩ කරන්න. හරිද? All right. So there are actually 11 units. Okay. So unit 1, units and measurements. It's actually unit dimension and measurement. So I include dimension inside the units and measurements, because in the syllabus also it has given like that, units and measurements. And unit 2, so in this lesson you will be discussing about units of length, velocity, and dimensions, and measuring instruments and the types of errors, those kind of things. This part is very easy. If you have the notes, if you have the complete note of this, you can study on. ඕවර් ළමයෙක්ට ඉගෙන ගන්න පුළුවන් මට්ටමේ තියෙන lesson එක. කිසිම අමාරුවක් නැහැ. If you get the notes, you can do it your own. Okay? So දැන් මම මේකෙන් hint එකක් දෙනවා. Already කොහොම හරි note එක අරන් කියන්න. ඒතකොට මම explain කරනකොට it will be easy. It will recall. Okay? Right. The second unit is mechanics. Okay, so the mechanics is the most important unit in your syllabus. I can say it is the heart of physics. Why I am saying like that? Heart of physics කියලා. Now, if I want, I can start many lessons parallelly. No, I can't. If I want to start other units parallelly, I should finish the mechanics, because the mechanics is applied to all the units, right? Likewise, the theories and phenomena that you study in mechanics will be applied to every branch of physics. It can be quantum mechanics, general relativity, thermodynamics, electromagnetism, nuclear physics, atomic physics, computer science. Computer science is also a branch of physics, because last time the Nobel Prize for Physics is given for the computer science who has developed AI, this neural network thing, the artificial intelligence neural network. So who has done the foundational work, he got the Nobel Prize. The Nobel Prize of Physics is given for computer scientists. So there is an argument from physics why they given for this computer sciences like that. There is small argument in the last Nobel Prize. Okay. But anyhow, for my opinion, everything, even if I give a physics for literature, fine, I agree. Because everything happening around us is actually okay. All right. So mechanics is the heart of physics. Why I'm saying that is, now what is the function of a heart? What is the function of a heart? Yeah, the circulatory system, pump blood. Blood is actually පාරේ යන track වගේ. ඒවා බඩු උස්සගෙන යනවා විතරයි. The things that we want to transport is what? Oxygen and nutrients. Oxygen and nutrients. I'm sorry, I'm not that much sharp in biology. I have done biology in my O-level, which is like a decade ago. Okay, so correct me if I'm saying anything. Okay, right. So the function of heart is supplying uh, oxygen and nutrition to our body. Okay, so it supplies everywhere. Right now, for example, if I want to do a work, I need energy. In physics, you study the work energy principle. To do a work, it requires energy, right? So if I'm holding my hand and like this, I'm doing a work now. For that, I need energy. So that energy is actually uh, now in you have studied photosynthesis, right? What is the equation for photosynthesis? Uh, I just write glucose. No, it's not glucose. It's byproduct is glucose. Water H2O plus carbon dioxide, energy, sunlight. Sunlight is such energy. Okay. Okay. Chlorophyll doesn't come to the equation, but necessary. It contains the place where you get the reaction. And what you have glucose and oxygen. So this is the photosynthesis. Prabha translation, photosynthesis. So H2O plus carbon dioxide and energy. So it H2 and carbon dioxide, and also it needs energy to do this reaction, and it produces glucose and oxygen. And in our body now, as I say, I want energy, right? So this what happens. We consume glucose and O2. The glucose comes from the pikana pan, piti, eva, carbohydrate. Glucose content is there. Okay. That part also you have studied in your grade 11 now, grade 11 first unit. Grade 11 first unit that disaccharide, saccharide. I don't know. I'm not doing my bio. So here, glucose and oxygen we consume in our body to produce H2O, CO2 and energy. අපි වැඩක් කරන්න energy ඕනේ. energy එක හදන්නේ. දැන් මේක energy එක observe කරනවා. මේකෙන් අනිත් පැත්තට ගත්තම energy එක release වෙනවා. ඒ energy release energy තමයි we consume to do work. So here this is in this side. If I lift to this some H, the gravitation potential energy is increased by H rho g. So ඒකට සමාන work has done. The same amount of my chemical energy is now change to a gravitation potential energy because energy is conserved. Okay. All right. So we use glucose and oxygen uh, to do work to produce energy. So the byproducts will be carbon dioxide or H2O. So H2O තමයි දහඩිය විදිහට යන්නේ. ඔයා හයියෙන් වේගයෙන් දුන්නොත් if you are running you sweat fast because more H2O will be produced. You need more energy. Okay. So these things you will study in biology. Sorry. Okay. Anyway, what I want to say is the heart is the uh, I said heart is sorry mechanics is the heart of physics, and then only I'm talking about the heart. So heart supplies blood and nutrition glucose to every part of our body. Likewise, the theories and phenomena that you study in physics will be applied in mechanics will be applied to every branch of physics. Now, for example, if you consider the particle physics, have you heard about CERN? So this is a multi-billion research center where it's in Norway, Sweden. Okay, Switzerland. Yeah, Norway or Switzerland, I'm not quite sure. So it's like they have the tunnel, circular shape. It's in kilometers. So the radius will be many kilometers. It's very huge. What they do is they take proton and accelerate to very high speed. When accelerating to very high speed, energy will increase. Kinetic energy is given by half mv squared. If you the mass of the proton is constant, if you increase the speed, energy will increase. So then you collide with another proton, and then as a byproduct, there's so many subatomic particles will decay, and then that will be detected, and they are experimenting like that. It's a multi-billion experiment center. Okay, so as you are a science student, you should know what are and what is ISS and what is NASA. All these things it should be a normal general thing. So in particle physics, what you will be, it's a very complicated thing, but still you are using the fundamental basic of mechanics, energy conservation and momentum conservation. In your syllabus, you will be studying about linear momentum conservation principle. So those theories only used in that uh, particle physics. Even if you take NASA sending a rocket, still we are using the formula derived by Einstein. Sorry, not Einstein, Newton. Newton. F equals gmm over r square. Okay. So this formula is there in your sixth unit, gravitation field. Okay. So there we have set of several small equations. In your syllabus, the smallest lesson is gravitation field, which can be done. Entire lesson can be done within less than 3 hours. Okay. Okay. So the mechanics is the most important lesson, and some teachers take 1 year to complete the mechanics, or 8 months, 10 months to complete the mechanics. But I'm planning to complete the mechanics. Let's say the May, June, July, August, September, October, May, June, July, August, September, October, November. By December, I'm planning to finish the mechanics. Okay. Now, if you consider according to syllabus, mechanics is 1 year. Okay. So, but I will try to finish within 6 to 7 months. Okay, mechanics. Once we finish the mechanics, then the third unit is waves and oscillations. Waves and oscillations. So, in more detail about we will discuss later. And then fourth unit we have heat or thermal physics. And fifth, sorry, the gravitation field is fifth unit. Gravitation fields. Gravitational field. And six, electric field. Or I can barely say it is electrostatic field, because in this lesson we will be talking about the electric fields due to static charges. So this is electrostatic field. And seven, magnetic field. So here we will be discussing about the effects of magnetism, magnetic fields. And H is electricity, Tara Vidya, electricity. And nine, we have electronics. 10, mechanical properties of matter. If you want to become a civil engineer, most important lessons are mechanics and mechanical properties of matter. If you want to be a structural engineer, something like this lesson is very important. Mechanical properties. The elasticity of material, strength, mechanical properties of matter. And 11, the last unit is matter and radiation. Matter and radiation. Okay, you can write this. Okay. So I plan to do complete the physics syllabus in 1 year. 1 year क्यों ना, but 1 year in करන්න බෑ. So now we are starting May. So next year, May, June, July. 1 year, another 2 months. By July, August. By July, we can uh, finish the syllabus. Because the advice that I can give a A-level student is complete the syllabus as soon as possible. Whether they are attending my class or attending another class or not attending a class at all, this advice that I can give is finish the syllabus so as soon as possible, so that they can practice uh, all the past papers and model questions and all. Because when it comes to this, the practice is very important. Okay, ගණන් ටික හදලා practice වෙන එක අත්‍යවශ්‍යයි. It's very crucial. So therefore, now if we going slow, then we can only practice few lessons. Only the if we finish the syllabus very earlier, so that we can complete the we can do a lot of past paper questions and we can practice all the theory parts. Okay, now in my 2026 batch there is a student who has already completed the syllabus and he is attending the paper with 25 students. He is from Mahanam. Okay. Right, so these are the contents. Okay, so the next is the paper structure. You have two papers, paper 1 and paper 2. So paper 1 is actually 50 MCQs. 50 MCQ, each 1 mark. So 50 into 1, you get 50. Okay, 50 MCQs, each 1 mark, 50 marks. Paper 2, you have two papers, structured essay and essay. Okay, structured essay and essay. In structured essay, you have 4 structured questions. 4. So structured questions actually comes from your practicals. Practicals, you have a list of nearly 40 practicals in your syllabus. So from that you will get structured essay. So each 10 marks, 4 questions, each 10 marks for. Then හිතන්න මේ 25 බැච් එකේ ළමයෙක් කෙනා මං ගාවට සර් මං ෆිසික්ස් වල මුකුත් ගත්තේ නැහැ මට. හැබැයි මට කොහොම හරි F එකක් නැතුව කොට දාගන්න ඕන. The student comes to me like that. The place I will practice him is the structured essay. I කියවන structured essay තමයි paper එකේ ලේසිම part. හරිද? ඔයා එක practical එකක් කරලා ඒ practical එකේ past papers කරනකොට then you will see, you will realize the questions are very similar. Theory ඉගෙන ගත්ත විදිහේ aim එනවා. If there are 10 marks, out of 8 marks, easily you can get if you practice to do to study the theory well, and then if you do practice 2-3 past paper questions, easily you can get 8 to 9 out of 10 in the structured essay. That is because when you do questions, you will realize. So this is the easiest place where you can score marks. Okay, so 40 marks can මුළු paper එකෙම 20ක් තියෙනවා structured. In essay paper, you have questions. Now this is the second paper. The question number 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. And question number 5 starts here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Make a 9 එකේ තියෙනවා A or B. 10 එකේ A or B. So altogether you will have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of 9 questions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Out of 8 questions, you have to do only 4 questions. Okay, you have to do only 4 questions. Each 15 marks. 4 into 15, so it's 60. So here 40 and 60 together 100. Okay, and then 100 divided by 2 will be 50. එතකොට බලන්න ඔයාගේ මුළු paper එකේ weightage එක වැඩි කොහෙද? MCQ. ලකුණු 50ක් තියෙනවා. එක ලකුණක් කියන්නේ එක ලකුණ. If one question is correct, one is. So those who want to get A for physics, practice වෙන්න ඕනේ මේක තමයි. මේක හැමෝටම ගන්න පුළුවන්. Out of 40 everyone can take. Out of 60, 55 marks everyone can take. But the hardest place is MCQ. For MCQ හදන්න නම් ඒක ගොඩාක් හදලා practice කරන්න. මෙහෙම આવුත් මේ 50 questions like this because you have to write 50 questions within 2 hours. So that is also a big task. Okay, 50 questions 2 hours means each question you will get 1 minute and 2 minutes and 27 seconds. So 2 hours then 120 minutes you have to divide by 50. So 2.4 seconds, sorry, 2.4 minutes. එතකොට 2.4 minutes කියන්නේ 2 minutes and so it's out of 10 less 60 to convert කරන්න 2 minutes and 15 seconds වගේ තමයි. Because 0.4 කියන්නේ 10ට බැලුවොත් so you have to because minute is 60. So something 2 minutes and 15 seconds, something like that only you get for each question. So therefore you have to practice that you want to do a question in less than 2 minutes. Okay. දැන් MCQ paper එක කරගෙන යනකොට දැන් මුලින් තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න ටික easy. The units වලින් එයි පොඩි ප්‍රශ්න දෙකක් වෙනවා lazy ප්‍රශ්න. ලකුණු පහක් easy ප්‍රශ්න ටිකක් පහක්. So when you are doing questions, if you feel the impression at the first glance, make it a 2 minutes wage IQ, you skip that and move to the next question. Otherwise, if you spend even think, make it 2 minutes either at the if you just at the first glance think that it will take more than 2 minutes, to skip that and go to the other question. Then next you have to finish all the 50 questions, and then after that only the skip questions you have to do. That is a crucial way to complete the 50 questions, get more marks in the MCQ. Okay, right. So you have paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 is 2 hours. 2 hours, 50 MCQs, each 1 mark. Paper 2, 3 hours. මේ 3 hours එක ඔයා කඩා ගන්න ඕනේ කොහොමද කිව්වනම් මේකට 1 hour. 1 hour for this and 2 hour for this. Okay. So if you take 1 hour for this means you will get each 15 minutes. But ඔයා මේක structured essay කරන්න ඕනේ. Let's try to complete in 10 minutes. After practicing, when you are practicing and you have to do alone papers. කරනකොට විනාඩි 10ක් වගේ දෙන්න ඕනේ structured එකට. You want to get for A. A එකට යනවා. මම මෙතන pass වෙන්න ඕනේ එහෙම නැහැ. ඒ target එක A එක. Physics A එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ. A එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ නම් මේ structured essay question එකක් විනාඩි 10ක් ගන්න පුළුවන්. හරියට වැඩ කරලා practice කරන්න theory ටික දන්නවා. හරිද? ඊළඟට මේකේ ඔය වගේ ප්‍රශ්න හතරක් තියෙනවා. ප්‍රශ්න හතරකට පැය 2 hours, so you get each half an hour. That means 30 minutes. 30 minutes. But you have to practice to complete in 20 minutes each question. 20 minutes වලින් හදන්න ඕන. හදුවත් තමයි ඒකකට හඳ පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ. Okay. So that is the structure of the physics paper. Yeah, if you want, you can just jot down. All right. So I'll give you a small introduction about myself. My name is Muhammad Rimaz Riza. I have done my BSc in Maths Physics in Peradhan University. Actually, when I'm doing my A levels, I wanted to become an engineer, targeting 3As and teaching for the Morato campus. That was my target when I was doing A levels. But in my first shy, I got the results of 3C, 3C and Z for 0.8 something. And then I wanted to go somehow for engineering. So then I did second shy. So second shy, I get the same results PC, but the GPA is increased to 0.8 by 1.1. ඒ කියන්නේ කලින් C වල අඩු ලකුණු තිබිලා ඇති. දැන් මේකේ වැඩි ලකුණු ඇවිල්ලා. ඔය වගේ. Okay. And then so I realized then okay 3C is the my capacity. මට පුළුවන් එච්චරයි. Okay, and then by fortune for my first shy, I got the opportunity for Peradeniya campus. Okay, so it's from a boat tour. Boat tour, you know, it's a university slang. There are so many slang words from campus. Boat tour, kuppiya, valaya. Boat tour means someone has got the opportunity, but they didn't go. So there is a vacancy, you know, that vacancy filled by another person. So they get a boat tour here. Okay. So I got a boat tour. So the happy part is, so I get the boat tour, you know, after a long time. The students all like start the campus. It's been after the semester start around 4 months something. Okay. Yeah, actually my first the campus started by December. I went March, so it's 3 months, 3 or 3.5 months. The happy thing is, මම යන දවසට කලින් දවසේ තමයි welcome freshers. That means rag, the harsh rag is over. Okay, so that's my fortune. I can remember the day I entered the university. It is March 14. What is special about March 14? There are 4 special things about March 14. One is the day I entered the university. It is special. Okay? And second, it is the birthday of Albert Einstein, death day of Stephen Hawking, and it is also referred as Pi Day. Pi, you know the number pi. The pi is equals to 3.14159265358979323. By the way, there is a lecturer from Candy. He is doing private classes. He is actually Peradeniya engineering faculty. I'm not sure. Dr. Pentelian Pera. He can write the digits of pi, 1,000 digits. Okay. There is like a world record also, like 10,000 million something kind of that. Right. So this pi, we know the first 3 digits are 3.14. So March 14. So the pi day is refers pi. This letter is pi. So pi day is March 14 because 314. Okay. So those are the 4 special things about 314. And also there is another thing. You know the pi. Okay. 314. 4. Okay. I keep a mirror. So 4 mirror image will be like this. This pie. You know eating pie. Okay. So it's mirror images. Okay. So that is another thing about pie. So yeah, so I have done my BSc Max Physics in Peradeniya University. When I entered the university, I actually wanted that we had to choose a course combination. So when I see this combinations, there are around 12 or 13 combinations. The first thing I saw is I chose is Max Physics and Computer Science. But unfortunately, the computer science, this whole computer science vacancies are not there. And therefore, I had to take Max and double Max, pure Max and applied Max. But later on only I realized if I spoke to the student council with a proper letter, I could have taken the computer science because the one thing I am very happy about myself that I didn't enter Morato University, not engineering, but Peradeniya physical science. There are two things that I'm happy about. One is going to the Peradeniya because that's the most beautiful campus in the Sri Lanka. Okay, so that is one thing. And second thing, I got the ability to study physics and maths instead of engineering. Engineering ගියා නම් අපි maths විතරයි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා ඊට පස්සේ ඒක applications එක කරන්නේ. But here we study the real physics, so that's another thing that I'm happy about. Okay, so the God has we planned for something, but God gives better than that. අපි මොනවා හරි එකක් හිතලා මේක ලැබුණ නැහැ කියලා දුක් වෙනකොට ඒකට වඩා God replace කරන better එකක්. So something like that happened to me. So I'm very happy that I got opportunity to study in Peradeni instead of Moratua doing engineering. Okay, right. So then I also complete my masters in physics of materials. So I have done physics of materials. So they are I know how to synthesize solar cell. Uh, Many things like include ceramics, polymers, um, and the metals, alloys, a lot of things I covered. But the thing now I'm worrying is මං කරපු masters එකේ මං තාම practical life එකට apply කරන්න නැහැ කියන එක. So my ambition, so therefore I want to have a research center. I want to use my knowledge. I want to have a lab. In that lab, students from O level, laws, smaller grades, so A level can come and do research and they can involve in innovations. This is my ambition. That's my okay. So that's a small thing about myself, small note about myself. And then so so I thought today's session is we covering the syllabus and then how we are going to do the class. That's one I want to tell. So first we'll cover first unit and second unit on Sundays, 8:30 to 1 o'clock will be the typical time. Excuse me guys, give me a minute. Yeah, 8:30 to 1. But next week I'll be starting at 9 because I have some commitments. Then you'll see. All right. So Unit 1 and Unit 2 will be covering on Sunday classes. So once the mechanics is over, okay, then I will be starting parallelly another class. මේ ඉරිදා class එකට අමතරව තව online session එකක් weekly 2 hours වටින්නේ. ඒතර ඒක දැන් ඔයා 27 batch නේ. ඒ 27 batch එකේදී 26 ළමයිත් join වෙයි. එතකොට ඒ වෙලාවේ මම කරනවා electronics. Once I finish the mechanics and starting unit 3, I'll do electronics and then 10th unit and 11th unit. ඊට පස්සේ ඒ ටික කරගෙන මේකත් ඉවරගෙන parallelly කරගෙන යනකොට within 1 month and 1 year and 2 months we can complete the syllabus and then fully papers තමයි කරන්නේ. Sorry? Date එක now this is will be we have to finishing completing the mechanics no. So දැන් මට ඒක date එකක් කියන්න බෑ. So at that time we will see. So weekly 2 hours online we can cover the electronics and some other small units. All right. So that is our course plan will be. Okay. So we want to target to finish May, June, July, at least by August to finish the syllabus. Okay. So that time I think you will have second term or third term in your school. Okay. All right. So by the way, apart from that, you had to, as I told you, you had to get this study materials, resource book available on online. nie.lk, you can go, this you can find physics resource. Not only for physics, you can get the resource book for chemistry, biology as well. Syllabus වෙනස් කරන්න එපා. අන්තිමට 2017 එකේ change එකක් තිබ්බේ. ඊට පස්සේ තාම වෙනසක් කරලා නැහැ. Okay. Yeah, you can use his resource. And now you guys are very fortunate actually. අපේ කාලේ ඒව තිබ්බේ නැහැ. We didn't have resource. Okay. Recently, I think before 5 to 6, 7 years only, the resource book was came to the market. So now you can go through the syllabus. Resource book එක බලාගෙන මෙන්න මේව තමයි ඉගෙන ගන්න යන්නේ කියන. But the syllabus එක, you can get the syllabus also. Syllabus also there in the ni.in. And then with the syllabus resource book, you can go and you can do your self study also. Now, for example, next week if I'm going to start the finish the Newton's second law and going to start third law, before coming you can refer the third law and come එතකොට ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට හොඳටම මතක් වෙනවා. Okay, all right. So, and also you have to get the past papers and then the most questions materials like Pesuru තියෙනවා, but I don't prefer Pesuru because they have many typing errors. But if you still find, because if you have 20 questions, 2-3 will have some typing mistakes, still you can use it. And then apart from that, there is another lectures questions are the PG කියන එක. These books also good to practice questions that will relevant to our this course. And PG කියන එක. PG කියන එක. The unit wise questions are there. කියන එක. I think it's available for both English medium and Sinhala medium as well. And apart from that, now, you know, our A-level paper is prepared by whom? University lecturers, mostly from Colombo University, Peradeniya, and 4 university lectures. So there will be lecture board. They will be making one sir will making one part, one sir will making one part. So me university lectures la refer karana samar books තියෙනවා. For example, objective physics like that and all. So little bit those are little bit some advanced questions of there, but then again if you can practice, I mean make avilla extra work past papers ඔක්කොම කරලා ඒවා කරනවා නම් objective physics වගේ book එකක් නෙම prefer කරන එක හොඳයි. because ඒ වගේ සමහර or else you can go through you download the syllabus, okay, or resource book එකේ අර professors ලාගේ name කවුද හැදුවේ ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා. ඊට අමතරව reference උත් තියෙනවා ඒකේ. So you can go check what are the books, reference books. So you can go through that one also. Okay, because when they want to make a question, sometimes they will get questions from that thing. Again, පොඩ්ඩක් එහාට මෙහෙට කරකවලා දෙන්නත් පුළුවන්. Right, because they are also very busy. එතකොට එයාලා own questions හදන්න එහෙම වැඩි time යන්නේ නැහැ. සමහර ඒවා තියෙනවා. එතකොට එයාලා ඒ questions එක ගන්න පොඩ්ඩක් එහාට මෙහාට කරලා they will give questions also. So you get this resource book and then check the reference. If you have, you can get those books also, will be fine. All right. So yeah, okay, so to make our session more useful, I will just introduce the unit 1. We will start the unit 1, so you can start writing the heading, units and measurements. Okay, I told you out of our 11 units, most important unit is mechanics, right? Because the mechanics, now you can think mechanics as a tree. You can think this is the tree of physics. You know, Christmas tree, likewise, this is a tree of physics. Family tree, tree of physics. Okay. Okay, so a tree has branches and then sub branches and all there. Please ignore my drawing skill. I am not good at drawing. Here is a tree. Okay, so in this tree we have many branches. What are they? For example, thermodynamics, heat physics, thermal physics, thermal physics, electromagnetism. What are branches to There's we have gravity, gravity, and nuclear physics. In nuclear physics, you study inside the nuclear. You don't have in your ALL physics. ALL එක තියෙන පොඩ්ඩක් the nuclear reactions. Yeah, you have nuclear physics in your syllabus. And atomic physics, and nanotechnology, 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 and you have astronomy, where rockets, spacecraft, astronaut, astronomy, and then also you have cosmology. You study about the universe, Big Bang, expanding universe, galaxies, cosmology. What else we have? Particle physics, particle physics, electronics, quantum physics. Now this is my favorite part, quantum physics, because the things happening in quantum physics really astonishing. I mean, mind blowing. අපේ AL physics එකේ තියෙන ඒවා basic විතරයි. හැම එකෙම basic. Real physics, if you have to learn, you have to do like university second level, third level, and PhD. You will learn real physics. They are really you will make you happy. Yeah, film thrilling film බලනකොට අර thrill එකක් තියෙනවා. මොකද film ඒ වගේ thrill එකක් තියෙනවා මේ quantum physics වගේ ඒවා ඉගෙන ගන්නකොට. Very interesting stuff. Quantum mechanics and all. Okay. මේකෙත් ගොඩක් තියෙනවා quantum chromodynamics, quantum nucleus එකේ quantum chromodynamics, quantum electrodynamics, electromagnetism ඔක්කොම, right? And then general relativity, theory of relativity. Relativity අහලා තියෙනවද? Have you heard about relativity? No. This theory explained by Einstein, right? That is also, that part is not there in our syllabus. You want to study relativity, you have to go campus and do physics degree. Relativity එකේ තියෙනවා special relativity, general relativity. එකේ special relativity විතරයි campus එකේ ගන්න. General relativity ගන්න you have to do PhD. Okay. There are so many things, the black hole, universe, and gravity, everything explained by this relativity. Okay. All right. So this is there are more branches now. Computer science, physics, and right, computer science and everything. Because the computer science binary digits, logic gates and all we have in electronics. Okay. So if you want to understand this, all the branches of physics, you have to understand mechanics. It is the same STEM. Okay. If you want to understand all this, you want to excel with any of this field, first you have to excel with mechanics. Mechanics okay. To understand the mechanics, you have to understand its basic components, no? ඒකේ basic ඉඳන් ඉගෙනගෙන ඉන්න ඕනේ, right? Otherwise how can you එකපාරට මම කිව්වනම් මේ energy මේ moment, linear momentum conservation principle එක, then you won't be able to understand, because you don't know what is momentum means, you don't know what is for example impulse. So first, to understand mechanics, you have to understand its roots. ගහකට මේ roots නැත්නම් මොනවද වෙන්නේ? එහෙම පැල්ලෙනවා. ඉගෙන ගන්න බෑ. හරිද? So therefore these roots are physical quantities. Okay. So in our first unit is unit and measurements. So ඒකේ පළවෙනි පාඩේ units. The units එක අපි ඉගෙන ගන්න මෙන්න මේ physical quantities. But physical quantities කියන්නේ මොනවද? What are these physical quantities? These are the quantities which can be measured in the physical world. For example, a distance, a weight, a mass, a length, a time. So, so therefore, first we will be talking about physical quantities and then the measuring units of these quantities and then their dimensions, those things. So that part we will be starting from the unit 1. So I hope you wrote the topic units and dimensions. Okay. So then you write the subtopic units. Okay. Units and dimensions එකේ පළවෙනි කොටස units. එතකොට units එකේ යටතේ අනුමාතෘකාවක්. The subtopic you had to write physical quantities. Physical quantities. Okay. So write down under that a property that can be measured directly or indirectly in a physical system. Okay, a property that can be measured directly or indirectly in a physical system. So what is this directly and indirectly? Now, for example, I take this, the length of this we can measure directly, the length. What else we can take direct measurements? Speed is not a direct measurement because speed we have to find a distance divided by time. Time is direct measurements. Time and volume, mass, these are direct measurements. Now density, is it direct or indirect? Density, can you find density? Density මයිනම් මොනවා හරි උපකරණයක් තියනවද? No. Density you have to find mass divided by volume. So it's indirect. You take the mass of the substance and direct what is the volume it occupied. So the mass divided by volume is density. Hydrometer, but there again you have to do calibrate and do calculations and all, calibrate. So it is actually we can say consider the density is an indirect measurement. Okay. All right. So by the way, in your paper you won't get a question what are direct measurements, indirect measurements. This is general knowledge. Maybe I think it will be there in a oral. I don't know. Do you have? No. Okay. All right. So the next thing, all physical quantities we can classify into two groups, two categories. What are they? This one you have studied in your level. All the physical quantities we can classify into two groups. What are those two groups? Let's see, am I getting any answer from the online? Very good. I got the answer from online. Yeah. So all physical quantities we can divide into two groups, vectors and scalars. Physical quantities. මතක් වුණේ නෑනේ. Physical quantities. So we can classify into two groups. Vectors and scalars. Vectors කියන්නේ මොනවද ළමයි? What are vectors? that is scalar. Okay, scalars. Those are scalars. Scalars have only a magnitude. Vectors, they have both magnitude and direction. So let's write down. Scalars, they have physical quantities. They have both. They have only a magnitude. They have only a magnitude. On the other hand, vectors have, they have both magnitude and direction. Okay. So vectors, they have both magnitude and direction. Scalars, they have only a magnitude. Okay. Okay. Can you give some examples for scalars? Speed, distance, speed, distance. Students from online also can give some example for scalars. I will check. Give me some examples for scalars. Weight is a vector. Yeah, temperature. Good. So we have mass, temperature, mass, temperature. Time, is it a vector or scalar? Time, scalar, time. And we have, what else? Density, volume, volume, pressure. What about the current, electric current? It has a direction. Okay, now I'm talking to this through this mic. Students from online can listen. That means my the acoustic energy, the sound, is vibrating with this small this magnet and a drum. It's vibrate, so the sound acoustic energy converts to as electric signal. That electric signal is going. So a signal is small current, the passing. Okay. So just because of I change this, is it affecting it? No. So it doesn't have a direction. Electric current. So if it has a direction, if change the direction, the physical effect will be changed. Now, for example, if you take object, you apply a force in this direction, it will move this direction. But you apply in another direction with same magnitude. Let's say 10 Newton, 10 Newton. හැබැයි direction එක වෙනස් කරාම මෙයාගේ accelerate කරන direction එක වෙනස් වෙනවා. So effect is different, no? If I apply this direction, it apply the force this direction, it will move this direction. If I apply in this direction, it will accelerate this direction. So, but here, if I change the directions, nothing happens. So it doesn't have a direction. Now that will be talking thoroughly in vectors. Okay, it will be yeah. Then you will get your answer. දැන් මම කියන ගියා නම් පොඩ්ඩක් බලපන්. හරි. So electric current is the scalar. Electric current. And we can write the refractive index. You have studied in yours, right? Snell's law and all, refractive index. And yeah, etc. So these are scalars. Vectors. Give me some examples for vectors. Acceleration, velocity, displacement. Displacement, velocity, acceleration, force, momentum. We can also have angular momentum. Uh, Electric field intensity. Electric field intensity. Okay, etc. Now, what about energy? Is it a vector or scalar energy? Really? So it's a scalar. Let's see what is the answer I'm getting from online. Energy, is it a vector or scalar? Okay, so weight is also a vector, but weight is actually the force. Weight is the gravitational attraction force, right? So it comes under force. Uh, weight, energy is vector or scalar? I got the correct answer from Tenori. Energy is a scalar. So if you're writing energy, you're writing scalars. Okay. Okay. So all physical quantities we can classify into vectors and scalars. Vectors have both magnitude and direction. Scalars have only a magnitude. Okay, it has only a value. For example, temperature. Now, if I take this room, each place have different values of temperature. So it has only a magnitude. But vectors have both magnitude and direction. It has a magnitude as well as a direction. Okay, so therefore the max for scalars, there is no much max in scalars. You just write the point value, the field value, whatever the speed or mass value we can write. Okay, you can measure the value. But since vectors have direction, the max is uh, more. There are more complexities there. So therefore, in combined max, there is an entire chapter for vectors. Now, in Sri Lanka A-level combined maths, we do all the lesson with incorporating with trigonometry, but in Indian maths, it's all with vectors. Vectors, if you are studying higher physics, vectors will be in there is in linear algebra in mathematics also. There are vectors and all. You study separate field. Okay. Now, for example, in computer science also, or robotics, in robotics arms and all, we to explain the motion and all, we use vectors. Now, not only that, to make animations, okay, the max in the computer, the matrix. You have studied in your O-levels matrix. Remember, when I'm studying in my O-level, Kamal, Nimal, marks දානවා ඒක table එකේ දාලා තියෙන එක. It's in the written in the table. We are writing in another different same thing. Why we are doing this? So nonsense. Why we are learning this? That's why my thought when I was studying in my O level and till my A level also like that. Okay, so during A level also we study in A level. You have more in matrix, the transpose matrix, inverse matrix, determinant of the matrix. So many things are there. But still, I'm wondering in my A level also why we are studying this. But later on, you will realize the computer problem solving, everything happens in matrix. There are so many methods, Gaussian elimination method, and so many things are there. Even the quantum computer we had to explain using the matrix. So there is so much going in matrix actually. Okay, we can represent physical quantities using matrix also. So matrix you learned in O level, it has a huge impact in higher fields. All right. So anyway, we are talking about vectors. So vectors, according to the syllabus, it comes under unit 1. In the unit 1, if you go through the syllabus, it comes under unit 1. But I don't think in unit 1 we are talking about unit measurements. So actually I take these vectors to the unit 2, because if you unit 2 mechanics, if you want to understand mechanics, you have to understand their basic roots, physical quantities. So those are vectors and scalars. In scalars හදන්න මොකුත් නැහැ. මේකේ temperature මෙච්චරයි නේ එච්චරයි. හරිද? දැන් මේ ડોක්ටර් කෙනෙක්ට යනවා temperature හොයනවා. හරිද? Temperature 25 Celsius. Doctor, is it guiding you to walk towards the north side? No, right? There's many direction incorporated with the scalars. It's very easy, just value, that's all. But vectors, you have to calculate so many things, diagrams and all there. We will study that in the unit 2. But actually, according to the syllabus, comes under unit 1. But I will take unit 2 and then I will write vectors. And then after that, vectors, I will start the kinematics. In unit 2, starting is kinematics, but I will take vectors into the unit 2. Because what I'm saying is makes sense, right? Because mechanics, you have to understand this. To understand this, you have to understand the vectors, but nothing to do much in the scalars. Okay. All right. So you guys can write this down. Okay. So today we learn only two things: vectors, scalars. Okay. So the main objective of our today's session is just to introduce the subject and the contents and the paper structure and how we are going to do the class and how you should prepare for the exam. So that part I didn't tell you yet. So the best thing what you can do is don't rely on your school. Don't rely on me. Or you are going to another physics class, don't rely on them. You should target for A, not for A, island rank එක target කරගෙන ඔයා ඒකට තනියම වැඩ කරන්න පටන් ගන්න. Now, for example, I may today do this lesson, tomorrow, next week I may get sick and I won't be able to do the class. Whether it happened or not, whatever happens in school, whatever happens, whether they teach or not, what happens, you have to take the notes, you have to find out, you have to take every lesson. Today, if you study this part, you have to search questions from this lesson and you have to do questions, right? So for do that, you have to, best thing is you have to get the questions from the unit wise question. Now, for example, today we are doing units, then you have to get some questions materials from units. Find out, you have to do the research, and then you have to do it, you have to work for island rank. Island rank එකක් ගන්න ඕනේ. අනිවාර්යෙන්ම island rank 100 නෙමෙයි 50ට ඇතුළේ එන්න ඕනේ inshallah. Okay, you have to come inside 50. If you can come one, බැරිද? One island rank one. Can you take island rank one? Nah, moral එක මදි. No, I will try. You have to target for island rank one. Okay, ඒකට වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ. 24/7 this 2 years you have to work for that. සමහරට wedding function එකක් ඇති මේ යාළුවාගේ අක්කගේ. ගියාම පොඩ්ඩක් කන්න පුළුවන් වැඩ පිළිවෙයි. නේද? fun එකක් තියෙයි. But these 2 years is the most important chapter. Campus එක ගියා නම් කොහොමද degree ගන්න පුළුවන්. ඒක no problem. You have assignment semester and all, but ඒ වෙලාවේ ඒ flow එකත් එක්ක ඒව කරන්න. දැන් ඔයාගේ life එකේ biggest investment is these 2 years. දැන් සාමාන්‍ය ડોක්ටර් කෙනෙක් යාට ගියා නම් අර ડોක්ටර් නම් මාර දත ගලවනවා නේද? සල්ලි ගොඩක් ගන්නවා කියනවනේ. But it's they are right actually, because they have sacrificed their sleep and all. It's not easy. A level එක ගොඩ දානවා කියන එක ලොකු දෙයක්. You have to get a A and go for medicine. You have to work according to that. ඒ තරමට වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ. You have to sacrifice small outings and you have to give you all time for that. And not only that, A level exam ඉවර කරලා පස්සේ campus එකෙත් අවුරුදු 5ක් 5 years. The medicine degree is 5 years. Okay, the coursework is 4 years actually. So 4 years coursework එකට පස්සේ there will be a training session of some period. So nearly 5 years වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ campus වල. ඒකේ assignment, projects, reports කරන්න ඕනේ, practicals කරන්න ඕනේ exam semester ඒ ඔක්කොම කරලා ඒ ඔක්කොම sacrifice එක කරාට පස්සේ තමයි doctor කෙනෙක් යාගේ fee එක මේ ගානේ කියන්නේ. So it is reasonable, right? So now you have to work to get island rank. Island rank එකක් ගන්න විදිහට තමයි වැඩ කරන්න අනිවාර්යයෙන්. Okay, so today we didn't do much. The theory subject එකේ කරේ පොඩි දෙකයි. මොනවාද කරේ? Scalars, vectors. Scalars have only magnitude. Vectors have both magnitude and direction. Okay. And in the next class, we will be doing completing the unit one, the unit part. Okay. We have units, dimensions, and measurements. So in next class, we can fully complete the units, and we can start the dimensions in the upcoming class. So the next class will be 9 o'clock next Sunday, 9 to 1. Okay. All right. Sub class is supposed to be 12:30, 9 to 12:30. So today I take some more time because I start 30. All right then. So all the best. Do work well. Let's target for island rank in physics. Okay. All the best. See you. Hold on.